how do we protect innocent Americans from being targeted by the likes of Letitia James or frankly anybody else who comes along? And this shouldn't be partisan, because you know what? It works both ways. So depending on who's in charge, the other side is then possibly the victim. I mean, this is scary stuff, and it doesn't even have to be side by side. It could also just be somebody who's in the public profile or somebody that they want to make an example out of, because you get some politically hungry attorney general that's trying to prove her stripes or earn her stripes so that one day she can run for mayor of New York City. Right? That's what this is really all about. She wants a bigger political career. And of course, at this moment in time, she knows that her future is very limited, certainly as Attorney General, because this is going to be kind of embarrassing when it's realized and it's decided that she was all wrong in this. In fact, I would not be surprised if we see her disbarred. Elise Stefanik, the representative from New York, who I would just say you don't want to mess with, Claudine Gay found that out, president of Harvard University, when Elise Stefanik, who also incidentally went to Harvard, was questioning her on Capitol Hill. Elise Stefanik wrote a 65-page letter to the professional committee in New York demanding that this woman be disbarred. So when this case gets reversed, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the professional committee to disbar Letitia James, because they're going to say she went wild. She had too much power. And when these attorney generals have too much power, or, the IRS has too much power, or the FBI or the CIA or anything else, right? When government has too much power, it becomes really dangerous. And that's the fear right now. And this is sort of what you see the theme of the Trump campaign being, that they need to fight back against these institutions which control the narrative and control. I mean, thank goodness we have this, right? Just a reminder to subscribe and to share and to like and to make a comment, whether you're watching live or whether you want to make a comment in all the comments below. Every little bit helps, because this is a very different and very challenging time, really, for the country and for conservatives, and for those of us that believe in the First Amendment. I mean, this entire thing could be shut down because somehow somebody decides this is misinformation, disinformation. You're not supposed to say the things or air the things that I'm airing. Like this next soundbite I want to play you from that hearing. It tells you what the judges are thinking. I mean, Letitia James brings this case saying, oh, somehow he's a threat to the public. He's going to take down the entire financial system in New York City because, he made one loan with Deutsche Bank and inflated the value of his property, and they gave him a better term as a result. Of course, everybody's a big boy. Deutsche Bank could do their own due diligence. But now Letitia James thinks she's smarter than the bankers at Deutsche Bank. So there you go. Here's one of the judges saying, you know what? The public wasn't hurt. You keep citing all these cases, lady, where vast amounts of people were hurt, but this is just a particular defined case. I want to play it for you.
You're pointing to Ernst & Young. You're pointing to First American. Ernst & Young, you're dealing with the collapse of Lehman Brothers. First American, you're dealing with an action brought against an appraiser who overvalued properties at the behest of a lender, perpetrating a scheme to induce unsophisticated consumers into taking out home loans that they could not afford. It hardly seems that justifies bringing an action to protect Deutsche Bank against President Trump, which is what you have here. I mean, you've got two really sophisticated parties in which no one lost any money, and that was the point of my initial question. Every case that you cite involved where there was damage to consumers, damage to the marketplace. You've got a scheme to get unsophisticated consumers to take out home loans. You got a collapse of Lehman Brothers. You don't have anything like that here.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, the statute doesn't require that whatsoever for liability. And the statute is written broadly because the legislature wants the Attorney General to go in and stop fraud and illegality.
Counsel, I think you hear underneath all these questions, the question of mission creep. Has 6312 morphed into something that it was not meant to do? And that's something you must address, because there has to be some limitation on what the Attorney General can do in interfering in these private transactions, as Justice Friedman said, that where people don't claim harm. So what is the limiting principle?
Apparently there is none. It's your politics. That's what limits you. So they can go after anybody they want. The 6312, as they said, has been creeping and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's like monster level. And it's met its monster match with Letitia James at the helm, ready to go after anyone and everyone. I mean, you guys know the drill, right? Remember her? What she was saying, how she wanted to go after him, how she campaigned on this. This was her entire shtick.
He's called me venomous.
We will fight back to your attempt to bring Trumpism to New York City.
He's called me disgraceful.
Of the fact that they stole the Supreme Court seat. An illegitimate president and an illegitimate member of the United States Supreme Court.
He's called me radical.
Listen, yes. We know he's crazy. Yes. We know he doesn't have a sound mind. Yes. We know he's out of control. Yes. We know he's losing it. Yes. We know his days are numbered and we will come together.
He's called me a racist.
We've got to stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale.
Okay, you get it? You understand how actually this is becoming quite alarming and quite scary. And so when they say, whoa, like where are the guardrails for 6312? That statute, maybe we need to put some in because we can't have the likes of Letitia James or whoever her successor might be out there doing crazy stuff, going after people for no reason.